yesterday. He was on the Howard Stern show. One of his nicknames was Gorilla, but I will quiz you on his other nickname, both of you. But please, let's call Steve Grillo, former Howard Stern employee. And, Steve was worried that I was going to ambush him. And you know what he said to me? He said, John, I've always considered you a big brother. And that was very sweet.
Nice.
That was very nice. Why are you not talking, Royce?
I'm letting you talk, John.
All right.
And also, I hate this microphone. So
all right.
Kinda...
well, look alive, pal. All right, let's
try to stay alive out here.
I know. It's really, really bad. The fires are so close to us.
Another one just broke out.
Really?
The one we were just talking about.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's in Porter Ranch, which is right by us right now. We're recording from Royce's Arcade Warehouse in Chatsworth, California, the porn capital of the world.
What's left of it.
Yeah.
You see something on porno?
Hey, Steve, what's up, buddy?
I'm all about porno.
Oh, no, we were just saying, we're in Chatsworth, which is right next to Porter Ranch, which they're evacuating right now for the fires.
Oh, Jesus, man. That's breaking my heart out there. What the fuck is going on? It's like Armageddon.
No, I know, and Chatsworth, I said Chatsworth is known as the porn capital of the world because this is where they shoot a lot of the porns that we've all jerked off to.
Nothing, but if you watch Pornhub these days, porn could be like anywhere. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
No, I know. I go to Pornhub. I don't know why you're going in and out, Steve. Are you pulling your mouth away from the phone?
No, I'm pretty solid. I don't know. I don't know the connection.
I don't know what's going on, Don. Come on, Don. You're the engineer here. What the fuck? Hold on, Steve. We'll try and work this out.
Don's shaking
the phone.
He's shaking the phone.
It's not a vending machine.
That's like
There's
kicking
not
the
much
fucking
more I can
tires.
do.
Here, Steve, talk.
Yo.
All right.
Sounds great.
That's great. So just stay wherever you are right now.
Okay.
All right. So, Steve and I have since, we've made up. And this is not an ambush, Steve. We're all good because we have plenty to talk about. But I was just saying that I had like a problem with you a while back, and it wasn't really all Steve's fault. Artie Lang was on a like staunch heroin-induced phase of his life where he wanted to trash me after we announced that I wanted to run to be the senator of the great state of California. So he had everybody on, including Jackie and Jim Florentine and Doug Stanhope and Grillo, and Artie's whole theme was to trash me. So, when Artie talked to Steve, got Artie, started his trashing, and Steve, now he made a joke. Now, Steve, I've made this joke on stage, so I get it now, and I was just very sensitive about my children at that time.
As you should be.
Yeah, but Steve made a joke, and you know what? I've made the same joke when my son came out as transgender. I didn't know what it was, and I had made the joke on stage, like transgender. So what are you, an airline? That's a joke that I made. Now, Steve made that same joke on Artie, but because I was so sensitive, because Artie was beating me up, I thought Steve was making fun of my kid, and then I got mad, and then Steve and I had a few texts back and forth, but
it got weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all good. I get it that you were just, you were trying to make a joke, but you knew, but what Artie was like, no, don't goof on his kid, and it's all good, dude.
I'm glad about that because it bothers me that you'd be mad at me, dude.
Yeah, no, I know, and it was one of those things, but again, it was like Artie was just on this, hateful tirade against me, and this has happened in the past. Were you there when Artie had started?
No, it was weird because like Artie was, he was someone I love that fucking that movie that he did with Norm,
Dirty Work.
And Dirty Work. I was a huge fan of that, and like I was a huge fan of Artie. He said, Mad TV and stuff like that, and I wasn't there. Yeah, and I didn't know that he was such a big fan. And the first time I had seen him was at Scores, and he was so like Grillo. You don't know. I was like, I'm Steve Grillo. I don't know if you know who I am. And he was like, I know you went to Hunter College. I know your dad's a mailman. I was like, holy shit, he knew like so much about me. but he was such a big Howard Stern fan, and I didn't realize he came on with Norm at that point. And when we were there together, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was actually
realize it.
Yeah, that was my first meeting with Artie. Was when he came on with Norm, and I had walked there and said, I saw the trailer for Dirty Work, and I really liked it. And then Artie told me then what a big fan he was of mine, which is so weird because look how things have changed. Now all he could do is trash me, which is unfortunate because I've always loved the guy and taken care of Artie. When he wanted to start doing stand-up again, he asked me to come on the road with me when I was doing the Stuttering John and Friends comedy tour, and I put Artie on the road with me. And,
Wait, John, I want to ask you a question because this bothers me. Remember, it was you and Jackie and everybody, and we did that whole thing in Atlantic City, and it was like us. I was on stage and we did this. It was like a whole thing. We all got paid. Then Howard went nuts, going, "This isn't the Friends of the Howard Stern Show. I don't want this on the road." And yet, then the Ronnie Block party blew up after years later.
Yeah,
and that was okay.
No, I know, and Howard. I mean, we're going to get into all that. Turn it up a little bit, Don. I'm sorry. We're just trying to deal with our levels. They seem weirder than usual today. I don't know. Maybe it's the fires. Maybe it's because my book is out in stores. But
John, I'm so happy for you about that. Dude, El Chapo's on TV right now. Looks just like you.
I know. I know he does.
Yo, you should totally get to play him in the movie.
I know. I just got to learn how to speak fucking fluent Spanish. I try to get.
You think so, considering your background.
I know. I tried getting those fucking books on, CDs on tape to speak Spanish, and it didn't fucking help. I mean.
Yeah, I did that too. You know what kept me out of college? High school.
Yeah, you know what? I did a roast with Steve to that guy Mike. What the fuck was his name? I don't know, but we did a roast, and Steve did a great job, doing stand-up, on the stage there, and he roasted me and everybody else. I think he did a great job.
I was terrified because I was like, if I come at you, you're going to fucking beat the shit out of me.
Which I did.
No, I'm talking about physically.
Oh, no. But yeah, I gotta say, Steve, talking to you, it's that Steve Grillo accent. That you have a slight stutter too, Steve. I'm noticing.
I do. It's really bad.
It's so funny.
I always did, but I didn't. I didn't want to take your job.
Oh, I remember. That's the first time I got mad at you, Steve. When Howard had us Steve wrote Howard a letter, and he said, he'd like to do the interviews. And I was like, hey, what the fuck? You trying to take my job?
No, you know what it was? Who was that woman that wrote a book that was with Ted Kennedy?
Oh,
and we went to that bar. We went to that bookstore on 57th Street, and you got thrown out. And then the next day, they made me go in. And you freaked out. You were like, "Were you trying to take my job?" I was like, "They just asked me to do it. I don't know."
Yeah, well, it's all good. I mean, fucking shit.
Yeah.
But you ended up doing some of the interviews, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it was fun. Actually, they asked me to do it like years later, and I did a great job. But here's the weird story. I did a Yankees thing and they loved it. I did the MTV Awards and they loved it. And then they sent me out to do the Porn Awards, right? And I go out there and there's a buddy of mine. He flies a girl in, and you stay out in his house in Vegas. And the girl comes in, and I was like, I didn't know this girl was coming in, and she was awesome. And then the next day, she was supposed to go dance at a club. And she forgot her ID. She hooked up with some guy. And 2 hours before I was supposed to go do the red carpet at the Porn Awards, we get the phone call. She's dead.
Oh, my God. You killed her?
No, she went out and met some dude and OD'd.
Oh, shit.
And so now here I am 2 hours before I'm supposed to be on the red carpet. This girl's dead. And now I'm trying to sweat. My buddy's bugging out. I'm bugging out. And then the interviews I did were fucking horrible. And they said, fuck you. And I couldn't explain to them that I just dealt with someone that passed away because my buddy couldn't get that on the air, and he didn't want that on the air, and so they threw me to the curb.
Wow. Well, you have, I mean, for those, anybody listening, anybody who's a Stern fan, Royce Dunn, do you know what Steve's other nickname besides Grillo was? This is a trivia question.
I do not.
Do you know?
No.
Gunga Din.
Yeah.
Gunga Din! Gunga Din! Bring water! Gunga Din!
I found that movie at a garage sale. I bought it.
What movie is it from?
Something didn't.
Yeah, that's what Fred
That's
used
the
to
name of
play.
the fucking. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah, Fred used to play that all the time. But Steve, so this is Royce. I don't know if you know this. This is really interesting Stern trivia. So not trivia, a great Stern story. So Steve happened to do Periscope. You know Periscope. You know on the phone. And,
Oh my God, you know about that, huh?
yeah, and you know,
Wow. I was drunk at Comic-Con and I didn't know what it was.
yeah, and he was just talking about how Howard Stern has changed, which Artie and I have, spoken, very much about. So Steve does that, and then he goes down to the Sirius studios because he's supposed to meet Robin and Driver, and I guess you guys were going out to lunch, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. How do you know this? Did she tell you this?
No, you did.
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, no, we were supposed to go to lunch, and I didn't know that what Periscope was, and somehow another radar online was listening to the Periscope or whatever, and I went up to go see Robin, and she went off on me, like, you're banned.
yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah. And then, but yet you still drove her to lunch, and you guys had lunch. But you said, she barely talked to you.
Yeah, it was the most uncomfortable lunch I've ever had in my life.
Did she pay at least?
And the look, of course she paid. But the look she gave me when she got in the car before we left was like the look of "fuck you, you're dead to me."
Yeah, and have you heard from her since?
No.
See, this is what I mean, Stephen. I don't know about you, and this is one of the things that really irritates me about Howard, which I think is probably, one of the top 100 hypocritical things about what Howard Stern has become. But Howard used to go off on Johnny Carson for banning Joan Rivers from The Tonight Show. And yet,
Yeah.
Howard has banned me, Grillo, Artie, Jackie, Gilbert, all from doing his show. I mean,
You know what that's from, right?
that's from fucking Yoko Turco, right?
Well, yeah, because they come up with the theory that nobody from the past should be on the show because everything's moving forward.
Oh, jeez.
There was a memo that went out that they didn't tell everybody exactly what to do, but they said any fraternization with past staff members is frowned upon.
Core principle number 12.
Yeah, no, that's exactly true, and that's what I said to, and I say that in the book, is that, the staff is not allowed to hang out with us, which is so weird. Derek Jones, Steve, I don't know if you know this, Derek Jones was the writing assistant on The Tonight Show, and he and I became good friends. I took him on the road with me, got him, raises at the Improv in Vegas, and I helped Derek get the writing job on the Howard Stern Show. My friend Ross Mark was working at Sirius, heard they were looking for a bunch of writers, and Derek applied, and I texted I tweeted Will, Will Murray, and and said that Derek would be great, and they hired him. But when Derek came out here after his first year on Stern, he had lunch with the stage manager, with Ross and everybody, but avoided me. And I heard through the grapevine that it was because he was afraid to be seen with me or have me talk about that he saw me because he didn't want to piss Howard off.
Oh, yeah, I believe that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, we all knew that Howard had thin skin, but this is just it just boggles the mind.
I don't understand. Listen, he became the person he used to make fun of. We all know that.
Yeah, no, he has. He's got the hot model, wife. He's got 3 big mansions. Which is fine.
Let me ask you a question about Beth. I've met her like 3 times.
Yeah.
Every time I met her, she was not nice to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not nice. I'm talking about like a bug underneath her fingernail, like dismissive. Like it was so dismissive. It was like insulting. And the first 2 times, I just like went, did that just happen? And the third time, I went, wow, it really did happen.
Wow. I mean, she blew me.
Oh, congratulations.
No, I'm only kidding.
She blew me off.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wish, but no. Beth was always good to me. I mean, but you got to remember, in those days, Howard and I were like, it's hard to say good friends because I don't think Howard's good friends with anybody, but we were friends that would go out to dinner, and I would sleep out there with my wife and Susanna, and we would fucking get.
It was always weird because, by the time I started working there, you were already a Channel 9 show fame. You were fucking off the charts. And I always hated the fact that they still treated you like you weren't part. And I saw that it always bothered you because you weren't part of, like, like there was Jackie and Fred, but then you were John, but you were just like John. Like, they might do something, but you were never invited. And when I heard that you finally made it to like the dinner table, I was happy for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I saw you struggle for years to try to make it to that level, and they always kept you down, and it bothered me.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that was the weird thing, Don and Royce, and these are my 2 guys on the show, is the weird thing about that is, I was they paid me $750 a week for the Channel 9 show, but yet, on the pamphlet or whatever the thing they send out to advertisers, there was 3 pictures on the cover: Howard, Robin, Stuttering John. And, and yet, like Steve said, yeah, I wasn't included in the core of the show, which was, but look, I mean, that didn't bother me as much as, of just the abuse that Howard gave us all. I mean, calling us losers. I know he called you a loser all the time.
Yeah, but here's the greatest example I could fucking tell. I told my dad, who's like an old school Italian, like quiet guy in the corner, doesn't like he's not the guy at work that's like hanging with everybody. He's the guy at work that doesn't say anything. He went to work and he left. When I started working on the show, I told my dad, don't tell anybody at work that I'm working on the show. And what did he do? He told everybody, and he started listening. And then Howard would, like, break my balls and be on the air. And then I'd come home, and my dad would be like, why the fuck did Howard have to say that? Why? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Dad, it's not funny if he doesn't, if he goes, good job, and pats me on the back. That's not funny. There's 20 million people listening. It's funny if he breaks my balls and tells me I'm a loser. That's what makes people fucking laugh in their car. And he was more mad that his boys at work were going, Grillo, your son got it good today. And but it was like, it's not funny if he's not breaking people's balls. And I understood that, and I took it. Well, it hurt me that my father didn't understand it.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, it never bothered me, him goofing on the stuttering thing. I didn't care. They let Fred do his impression of me all day, which he did an impression of you as well.
I loved his impression of me. I thought it was, I used to laugh. I love it to this day.
Yeah, everyone's tweeting me, top shelf liquor. What's that mean?
So, when he broke out in Sirius, right? They had the intern show.
Yeah.
So they had me come up on this intern show, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was like they kind of like did a show that like was based on me, and it was nice. And there was like 5, 6 interns that were there that day. And after the show, I was like, "I'm going to meet my friends at some bar. You guys want to come?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I went to the bar, and we wound up all sitting at a table, and these ungrateful mother, and you would appreciate this story, John, because like people take advantage of shit. They thought that I was paying for everything. I never said I was paying for anything. All I did was invite them to come meet me for a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
So they thought that since I'm paying for everything, they assumed, which I was broke at the time, okay, that not only are they going to order as many drinks as possible, they were going to order like Patron and Kettle One and Grey Goose, everything that's on the top shelf. So they ordered like another round of 8 shots of Patron, and that's like $13 a shot.
Yeah.
And they ordered like 8 rounds of shots. And everybody drank and ordered as much as they possibly could because they thought it would be fun to sniff me with the bill. But I had no understanding with them. I didn't say I was paying for the bill. So when the bill came, it was like $450.
Oh, shit.
And they were like looking at me, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. And Tracy had to come down, who was the office manager at the time, and pay the bill.
Holy shit!
So I was like, John, I bought like 2 rounds. My bill was like $120.
Wow!
But I didn't really have it at the time.
But
that's just $120 off the $450.
But is there a way that you say top shelf liquor that get to, like, how do you say it? Say it.
No, it's top shelf liquor.
That's terrible.
You understand something that all of a sudden it became an on-air battle between me and Tracy because Tracy thought they told Tracy that they assumed that I was paying for the bill, and I'm like, all I ask these kids, they're 22-year-old college kids. I assume when I was a 22-year-old college kid that when you went to a bar, you paid your bill.
Yeah, no,
unless someone said, "Yo, it's on me."
Well, that's the fallacy. That's the fallacy that about me is, I'm always the cheap bastard and all. I would pay for Jason and Will. We'd go out to lunch all the time, and I would pay for them because I always assumed that I'm making more, and they're not making anything. But the thing
was, you would pay for it, but you wouldn't let anybody else forget about that you paid for
it. That's true. Well, I have a story. Go ahead.
My first time on the road was when we went to the Philadelphia divorce party.
Yeah.
And you bought me shots, and I forgot to say thank you. And you tormented me for the whole night to the point where I remember sitting on the independent toll, almost like in tears, because I laughed because you would not say, you didn't say thank you. You didn't say thank you. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Well, Steve has the best analogy of me, and I think I had this in the book, Steve. Did
you really put that in the book?
I'm pretty sure. Steve always called me Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn? What was it?
No, you were Tom Sawyer.
Explain why.
Because you got everybody to whitewash your fence and to think that they were supposed to fucking be grateful for doing your job.
And there is a large truth to that because I'll never forget one of my early jobs was to park Robin's gray Saab, her car, because she was too fucking lazy to park it herself, so she'd park in front of the place.
How dare you say that to me right now?
Yeah. and fucking, so I'd have to park the car. So, I should have done what Mitch Fatel, the guy before me, did, because when they asked him if he knew how to drive a standard transmission, he said no. He lied. Me, this is the first time I made Howard and Rob and everybody laugh. Me, they said, do you know how to drive a standard? And they go, yeah, the gas pedal's on the left, right? And they all left because they knew I was fucking with them. But I admitted that I knew how to drive a standard. So then I was stuck parking Robin's car, which was like 5 blocks and 3 avenues away. It was like a fucking half a mile to a mile away.
Why does she have a stick?
Yeah.
She couldn't afford the automatic upgrade?
Well, and I think she likes the stick. She's kind of cool that way. She likes like cool shit. But anyway, fucking so as soon as Ganji started, I said, Ganji, you're parking Robin's car. And he goes, I don't even know how to drive a standard. I go, I'm teaching you today. So we went down in the morning, and I taught Ganji how to drive a stick with Robin's car. And he was like, stalling out half the way to the fucking garage. But there was no fucking way I was going to park it in the fucking middle of winter, freezing my ass off, and then having to walk back.
But you were never on time anyway.
Well, I was when I had to let Howard in.
Okay. No, you weren't. That's why I got the job.
Well, I was for the most. I think I missed like twice. I was late, but for the most part, I was.
I didn't miss once.
Yeah, well, you lived in the city, didn't you?
No, I lived in fucking Canarsie, the opposite end of Manhattan, by JFK. I lived.
well, anyway, but you know, for the most part, and I had to cook. I had to prepare Howard's potato. This is all in the fucking book, and then
you did not put that in there.
I gave Steve the job because one time I was washing the potatoes in the bathroom, because there was no sinks anywhere,
Right.
And Howard walked into the bathroom and saw me, and he's like, "Oh, you're cleaning my fucking lunch in the toilet." and I was off potato duty right after that.
Yeah, but what do you think Steve was cleaning up?
Yeah, where'd you clean them?
I had to bed them. I just knew when Howard was on the air.
Use the urinal as a back rinse. And just...
But you know, a part of the reason, Stephen, I don't know if you know this, like some of the tasks I would delegate was because of my massive OCD, and I was at my worst.
I realize that now, you know.
Which brings me to the next trivia question, Don and Royce. What drug did Ganji and Grillo give to Howard behind my back when they moved into my place that Howard called me out on the air that I was taking? What drug? Do you know?
No.
Steve, you remember?
Of course I do.
And what was it?
Prozac.
It was Prozac. And I was... Go ahead.
I just remember you sitting there, and you had read some article, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm reading this article on Prozac, and it's like it's a drug. It helps you focus.
It helps.
It's supposed to help your golf game.
No,
it's supposed to make you intense." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then now it comes out. Then it was like it was like when it first happened. And
yeah, go ahead.
No, and then all of a sudden it became a mental drug.
Yeah, well, I made the excuse on the air when Howard confronted me. I said that it was to help me play guitar better, but the truth was it was for OCD. But to be honest with you, the reason why there was a jar there is I stopped taking Prozac because instead of helping my OCD, I wanted to jump out of the fucking window. It was fucking. It made me suicidal. I'm going to tell you. Do you remember that when you tried to set me up and then we set you up? Yeah.
And I was supposed to kiss you. Yeah. You said that. When we had that intimate moment where we were supposed to kiss each other.
Yeah.
You said that. It was like, yeah. Sometimes I just feel like I want to jump out that window, and I didn't think you were kidding when you said that.
No, the Prozac was the word. I mean, now I'm on a healthy combination of Luvox and Klonopin, and that instead of touching every doorknob like you touch every other one.
That sounds healthy.
Yeah, it takes.
Well, when we were out in LA the last time, the way you were drinking, it was like 1, 2, 3 cigarette. 1, 2, 3 cigarette.
Yeah, no, I know. I since stopped smoking cigarettes, but
yeah, so now it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, now it's 1, 2, 3 sip of beer. 1, 2, 3 sip of beer. Now, Steve, I gotta. I'm going to call you out on something, and this is not. Again, it isn't a big deal, but
okay.
You know, Steve, I don't know. Are you still working with the lighting company?
I'm a consultant for the lighting company, but it's been downsized.
All right, so Steve was like, you know, in charge of getting them clients or whatever. So he asked me if they could do a demonstration at the Tonight Show for our head lighting director. So I set the whole thing up. I also hooked him up with the guy at the camera house, you know, and I always try and help
Rufus.
Steve. Yeah, Rufus Bannum. And English guy. It's like Sean Moore. But anyway, So, and all I said to Steve was, don't fucking go in the hallways. Don't bother the guests. So then, after we do the demonstration, I'm like, where the fuck is Grillo? And I go into one of the guest screen rooms, dressing rooms, and who are you fucking talking to?
I just said hello to Howie Mandel.
Yeah, he's talking to Howie Mandel. Hey, I'm Steve Grillo. And I'm like, Grillo? What the fuck is wrong with you? I can get in trouble for this.
Isn't he like the most OCD celebrity of all?
Yeah.
I didn't shake his hand. I knew that, but I usually gauge the situation. He was sitting there. I walked by. He looked at me. I said, "Hey, what's up?"
No, I
said, you work with my old boss. I didn't like, interrupt him in the middle of a conversation. Not for nothing. There's celebrities that I want to talk to, and there's celebrities I don't want to talk to. Howie Mandel is not one of them. It just seemed like it was a moment where he looked at me and I said hello. I didn't care less to say hi. There's people I want to meet. There's people I don't want to meet. I don't give a shit about Howie Mandel. Not for nothing.
The thing about Howie Mandel, getting back to my, Luvox and Klonopin, Howie and I, because he's OCD, obviously, we would always, tell each other which medications that we're on like at one point he's on Effexor, I'm on Luvox. I mean, we're both fucked up in the brain, but anyway, that's why, Steve, a lot of times I would delegate shit, because just like Howard said in his book about being OCD, like he would love that Fred would pick up all the albums and put them away for him, because he was so OCD that he couldn't do that. Which is, there are two types of OCD people: one who are completely clean, like a Felix Unger, or one who's a complete slob, like me. And like, I'm a slob because having to throw things out is a fucking whole big ritual for me.
I used to tell people I feel so bad for Susanna because that kid can't tie his shoes.
Oh yeah, I would get Susanna to tie my shoes.
Wait, you're fucking. You don't get people to brush your hair. You get people to fucking do everything. But my favorite was like I had to park your car, which was a goddamn mess. But you used to just like roll down your window and sneeze into your rearview mirror to the point where you couldn't see out of it. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, no.
Your car was you had a 5.0, and yet it was the most disgusting car I've ever been in.
Well, yeah. The truth is, like a lot of times, I would always sneeze on the passenger side.
I want to do a stump the Grillo right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want you to, from your first album, I want you to spit out a lyric, and I want to see if I can finish it, because I think I know every word to every song from your first album.
Okay, let's see. They put you down to tear you up, and they put you down. They rape you of your pride. I remember at an early age, I was crying out throughout the night when my mom said I didn't make the grade. Reject, regret.
Oh my God, that's fucking. I'm totally.
I stumped you on the first one.
I think Grillo stumped himself.
I know every word. I can't. I'm not in that fucking zone. Damn it.
He knows every word except for those.
I wanted to refer to the fact that I know. Your CD is still up in my trailer. I still listen to your CD when I'm like. I listen to it all summer.
Well, that's great, man. Well, that song is called Riverboat.
Yeah, rock the riverboat just to stay afloat.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
No, I do know it. Like if it's on, I know it. But I was like, I wanted to refer to the fact that it was like I used to drive with you to Philly, remember, and stay at Randy Cantor's house.
Yeah. Well, like Steve, the other story that is in my book, and I don't know how you felt about Don Buchwald. I always thought he was a piece of shit, but is when I asked Howard to be in my video for I'll Talk My Way Out of It. Howard, this is why he said I couldn't write a book. He's always like, because I might be doing a book soon. And the same, I asked him to be in my MTV, video to help me out. And
but yet you got Sting, you got Gene Simmons, you got Gilbert Gottfried,
but
everybody else except for him.
But Howard said no because he might be doing something on MTV. It's anything I've ever asked him. I remember when I asked him if I could do Wings, he said, "Well, you can, but they asked me first, so now they're just trying to use a part of this show." It was always about him. It could never, and I get it. I got my popularity through him. I'm not gonna, but throw the guy a bone. He didn't give Robin shit for being on the Prince of Bel-Air, but me, put it this way, Steve, I don't know if you know this, when NBC bought ads for the Wings episode that I guest starred on,
right,
and this is in the book, Howard would not read the live ads. He would say, "Oh, this is for Wings," and then, "I'm not doing this, Fred. Go to commercial." And they played the pre-records.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then Tom Chiasano came down and goes, "Howard, they're paying $5,000 a spot. Do the commercial." And Howard's like, "I'm not doing it." because they're just using me, they're using John to get. But I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it's so.
Why can't we all get a bone?
Yeah, it's so trite, and and that's when with Howard said, well, he might do something with MTV. When I asked him if I could do I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Howard said, well, it might be an idea that that Adam Carolla and I are developing. I don't know. Let me look into it. It's like everything. It's like. Just like Jackie said, and I know Royce is now Jackie's best buddy now, but just like Jackie said, it's like Howard and Don would get like most of the pie. They'd give Robin a slice and Fred a slice, and then all of us would fight for the crumbs. And that's exactly it. I mean, we really. I mean, I equated to working on the Stern Show as working on the firm, and. Eventually, Gary started saying the same thing, although now Gary's such a fucking... Let me ask you, Steve. I mean, because I have a whole chapter in the book called The Good, the Bad, and the Buoy. And I call Gary
That's funny.
Yeah, I call Gary Bubba Backstabber. And did you have any experiences where Gary threw you under the bus?
Every day. That's how I got on the air the first time. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything that happened, because he was such a beaten monkey that every time something happened, that he had to get an excuse to get off the trial, because he was constantly on trial for everything. And there was so many times where I saw him fuck up, and Howard went in and called him out on it, and he was like, well, I gave it to Grillo, I gave it to John. It was almost on a daily basis. Like he was a good guy to me, but extremely incompetent. You know what I'm saying? And we took the blunt end of it so many times, dude. So many times.
No, I know.
It's a consistent theme.
He was good to me, don't get me wrong. But I also saw when other interns came in, if you weren't a girl, he didn't want to fucking know you. And I had so many girls, and not that he was sexually, I think he just related to women more than he did guys. It wasn't a sexual thing. I'm not saying he abused them, but he was the girls would be like, oh, he's so nice, and the guys would always complain to me, he's such a dick to me. What did I do wrong? And it was just it was because you had a penis.
Yeah, well, that's what he. Someone tweeted me a question. Did you witness anything with Howard and women that would upset the Me Too movement?
Well, yeah, because I couldn't believe they got away with the intern beauty pageant.
I know.
How did that happen?
I know.
I thought that was so wrong, and people are okay with this. They're fucking college. Don't get me wrong, it was great to see them in bikinis and shit, but I thought that whole entire thing was fucking horrible. You're justifying who's the prettiest intern?
I know.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I've read rumors that during the days of the Channel 9 show, he was hitting on interns backstage.
I've heard. I heard. Well, I mean, I don't want to get sued, but I heard that he had sex. Well, this was a story that, well, first of all, Ralph Sorella put condoms on his private parts, on the things that he needed in his trailer, and condoms, were on there. Now, Howard and Ralph, I don't know if they played it or not played it, but it was like, oh, it was a joke that Ralph was playing. I don't buy it, because somebody told me that there was some girl who, Steve, you might know, the girl in the bathtub, I think, that there was rumors that something was going on, but again, these are rumors.
Well, I can tell you something that nobody knows. And by the way, if everybody's on Twitter, my first Twitter account got hacked. So I'm Steve Gorilla at Twitter. I could definitely use some Twitter followers.
Yeah.
So it's Steve Gorilla. But there was a weird thing when I worked with Howard on private parts every day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there were days that he stayed at Silver Cup, right?
Yeah.
And when he stayed over at Silver Cup, I don't know if anybody knows this, but his overnight PA was Eli Roth, who was from that Cabin Fever. He's a huge fucking. They did Death Wish. He's a huge director now, but Eli Roth was writing Cabin Fever when he did the overnights with Howard. But there was a weird thing, because I would everybody would rap, and Howard would go upstairs, and Eli would come in, and. No, there was fucking whoever played Allison. What's her name?
Mary McCormack.
Mary McCormack. There was no reason for a layover between why would Eli know who Mary McCormack was, right?
Yeah.
And then at the rap party, Mary McCormack and Eli were like, "What's up? How are you?" And I'm like, "How the fuck do they know each?" Oh
wow.
Well, I went. Well, shit! I went. Oh my god! How do they know each other? Eli, I was there every night. I saw Howard go up to his thing and the fucking crew rap.
So just
and no one else was there.
So just to save you both from a lawsuit, the idea here is that Howard was sleeping with his co-star Mary McCormack.
I don't know. You make your own assumption.
Yeah.
All I know is his overnight PA.
Let me just ask you a question. No, but here's the
yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't know what Howard did when he was married to Allison, but I do, from a very reliable source, know that there was. Let's just say Howard and Mary were more than friends, at least after Howard's divorce. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I that can be corroborated, but I'm not going to say what they did. But all I'm going to say is, like, I didn't put this in the book because anyone to get sued, but since let's just say I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I'm not an attorney, so Royce, you.
Well, no, but I mean, it sounds like that. What
John,
I was saying
you're
wasn't
not an
that far
attorney.
off.
What'd you say, Royce?
It sounds like what I was suggesting isn't far off.
Yeah. But I don't
decode in between.
But I don't know when or if it happened. But I heard a story about something happening with Howard and Mary but I don't want to say for sure because I can get sued. But
maybe they were trying to negotiate a sequel.
All I know that what is 100% true is I left Howard there every day by himself with Eli Roth, and nobody else was there. I was there every day, John, every single day of that fucking shoot. And when I left, there was nobody there.
Well,
and the fact I don't know how the fuck Eli Roth and Mary McCormack were so close.
Well, maybe that explains why Allison got married 7 months after the divorce.
Yeah,
that suggests.
And why Mary McCormack's kid has a big nose.
God.
And a radio show.
A tiny penis.
Steve, I can talk to you all fucking day. Royce, why you telling me to wind up? I mean,
I was just telling you because I know you got 100 appearances and there was other stuff you want to cover.
I know, but I love talking to Steve because Steve, like you're like me in the way that you're unfiltered. You'll be honest about everything, and that's what I love about you. And but
you're coming to town, right? So I want you to come up. I don't have the listeners you do and shit like that, but I like you. I don't know anything else. I know you put a microphone in front of me, and I have a good time. So I have a podcast too. So maybe we'll do a podcast on my thing Friday before your show or something like that.
Yeah, you know what we'll do, and then could I simulcast that one on our?
Yeah, absolutely,
100%. All right, let's do that.
I have a studio that gives it to me for free.
All right, good.
It's on 50th and between 7th and Broadway. It's pro media.
Oh yeah,
so I can get a studio for free to record at. So let's do something.
All right, because I have a show this Friday night at the Broadway Comedy Club. Al Martin's place, who is one of my angels. Who
what time?
8:00. Mike Bochetti's agreed to do it.
Maybe we'll do something like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. The cameras might be up, so we may be able to record it on camera.
Yeah, I got to see because I should be doing Opie's podcast at some point, and then I just did the Bernie and Sid show on WABC this morning and had a great time with them. But all right, listen, Steve. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up with you. Well, go ahead, Royce. Did you?
Oh, hey, Steve, it's Royce. Let me ask you a quick question.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know how much validity there is to this, but I guess Jackie told us this story maybe way back in the early days of this version of the podcast. Did you actually save Howard's life one morning?
Oh yeah, I did.
Can we rehash that?
John, I remember. Yeah, because I always made it there on time. But I remember this morning I was like, I had been like out of scores until like 2 o'clock in the morning. I got to be up at 5, be there by 5. I was like half in the bag, and I thought I was going to be late. And I got there, and there was a car in front of 600 Madison. And I got upstairs, and Ronnie called. And I said, "Yo, why don't you come back around?" Come around, because there was the front entrance if nobody was there, and then there was the back entrance because it was like the garage entrance.
Yeah, that's where I used to let
so
him.
I made Ronnie go around, and by the time it took that long, the guy that was in the car realized there was two entrances, so we were standing on the corner. So when Howard's limo pulled up in the back, the guy was standing on the corner, and he saw Howard, and Howard gets into the limo, and he goes, "Howard Stern, I'm gonna fucking kill you!" And he comes charging down the block, and Howard was like a deer in the fucking headlights. He was like, "Huh, huh, huh." And I fucking grabbed Howard, and I go, "Get in the fucking," and I pushed him, because there was like the long, like, it was like there was the gate, and it was like where a truck would pull in, and then there was the door to get into the building. So I fucking pushed Howard into the fucking building, and just as Howard got in the building and I told him to run, the guy came to the garage door, and Ronnie grabbed him, and I'm screaming to the angry black guard that used to be there overnight, "Shut the gate, shut the gate." The gate came down, and then I held the door just in case, he broke free from Ronnie, and the gate came down, and when I realized the gate was down and the guy wasn't in the building, I went into the lobby, and Howard had his gun out, and I was like, "Yo, bro, put that away. Put it away." Well, I was like, "Put it away." And he put it away, and we got upstairs, and I was like, "Oh my God, Ronnie!" And once I got Howard secure in the building, I went back downstairs, and at that time, like the city marshals used to have coffee on that corner for whatever reason. I don't know. That was their meeting point. That was when they got done. It was because it was 5:00 in the morning. It was probably they were all there, and they saw what happened. When I came out, the marshals had the guy cuffed on the car, and the guy had a loaded shotgun on the front seat.
Wow! Now, when he was,
if I didn't have him come in the back, and he would have pulled up in the front, I don't know what would have happened.
But he didn't charge you with the shotgun in his hand, though, right?
No, I didn't want.
No, I'm saying when the guy came running towards Howard.
No, because it was in the car.
Yeah.
So like he realized, well, why isn't Howard here yet? Is there another entrance? He got out to see if there's another entrance, and we caught him in between.
Well, hey, look, Howard thanks you in his book. Is that why?
No, this was after.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. It had nothing to do with like the dedication in the book. But he didn't even thank me that day.
Did you,
he didn't thank you that day? Holy shit.
Did you still have to make the baked potato that morning?
Yeah. No, then he yelled at me for not getting the hot water.
Unbelievable. That morning he washed the potato in the toilet. You know?
I never did, but I should have on that day. But like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm just a soldier, you know.
But that's
like we both were. I wish you would have brought up the Spike Lee thing, John, because that was a fucking one of the most epic things ever.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
Grillo, that's fucked up though. I mean, you saved the guy's life, and you tell me he didn't even thank you in that moment.
No, throw me a buck.
No shit.
No, Howard.
No. I remember because Ronnie and Grillo did something this morning. Yeah, and then I had to testify in front of a grand jury.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it, you know.
Imagine Steven testifying with this accent.
Yeah. How long did that take? How many stenographers did they have?
But I just remember, like,
was there a translator?
My next question. Oh my! Wait, so you're telling me there was a whole court case that was kind of like never brought out on the show?
Yeah. I had to go. Me and Ronnie, I had to go down to testify in front of a grand jury, and I remember watching the grand jury, and there's like fucking like 40 people sitting like and look like almost like if you were at college and you were teaching a class, like a stadium seating kind of thing, and like out of all the 40 people, like 13 of them were sleeping.
Can you picture Ronnie sitting on the stand? The guy must have needed a booster seat or something. I still can't believe that. Did you even know that went to court?
I didn't know it went to court. I vaguely remember it, but I didn't when Jackie brought it up. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, but I didn't remember. I didn't realize how intense it was. But but
I was brought into a room and said I'm not allowed to talk about this to anybody, or you'll lose. You'll be asked to leave.
Okay. Well, Steve, listen, it's been great talking to you. I mean, we'll have to have you back. Are you planning to come to L.A. anytime soon?
No, I'm just planning to pay rent.
Are you working?
Listen,
are you working at the pizza place still?
What's that?
Are you working at the pizza place still?
No, that was years ago.
Oh, so where are you working?
Bright Shot.
At the lighting company.
Yeah. Bright Shot. We're lighting everything.
All right. Are you making good money?
I got a nice apartment. I'm not saying I got a bank account, but you know, I got a roof deck.
Hey, just on a last note, because Don and Royce and I are all Star Wars geeks. Do you guys know that Steve is really good friends with Mark Hamill?
I still am.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and
I just found out because he's up in Malibu, so I found out that they're all safe, or at least they're safe. I don't know about their house.
yeah, and it's funny, Steve, because when I did the Trump phony phone call, Mark Hamill, retweeted it and wrote something about it and said, Donald would have been better off jumping off the plane. But
they're good. They're good people, man. I've been lucky enough to be involved in their lives for the past 25 years, and I have great respect for them and love all of them. His two sons are two of my best friends. I watched his daughter grow up. It's an amazing thing to be a part of someone that you idolize and be a part of their lives. It's amazing.
Well, if you can, tell Mark to come do my podcast. We'll come to him.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if he has a house. It's fucking sad to say, but the shit's bad out there.
I hear he's got a place on Hoth.
Yeah. There's no fires on Hoth.
All right, buddy. Nice to talk to you, Steve. I love you, pal.
I can't wait to see you, John. I'm glad we cleared the air, and this makes me feel a lot better.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, that was Steve Grillo. That
was good.
Gunga Din. Very, very interesting. I knew he would be a great guest because Steve doesn't. I mean, he'll tell. Or I could have had him on for another hour, but Royce is giving me the. But it's true because we do have more to talk about. A lot more to talk about.
Why Gunga Din?
Because he used to bring Howard water, and
then literally brought the water.
Yeah, and in the movie he's like, Gunga Din, bring water.
Right.
Gunga Din.
God, I hope it was toilet water.
But well, Howard never thanked anybody, and even when I wrote a great joke for him and he got huge laughs, he would never ever say good job. And as Jackie has also said, he just never would do that. It was really weird because Jay, when I was on a writing tear over the Tonight Show, he pulled me aside and goes, John, we like to goof on you, but you're doing a great job,
Right.
But so that's that. Steve Grillo. We have made up, and I love Steve. I mean, like I said, he said that he always looked at me as a big brother, which is kind of cool. I always wanted a younger sibling.
Well, he's got the stutter, so you guys could totally be related.
I never even realized how bad he stutters worse than me.
I think so.
I mean? But
and I can't believe you don't know the top shelf Liga.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. I mean, there's so many. You know how many things there are, though. I mean. But see, wait, was that Sirius?
Yeah, because it was with Tracy, right?
Yeah, but I didn't listen to Sirius.
Yeah, but that line wound up defining him, so it's just kind of...
Yeah, because I stopped listening. As soon as I went to Sirius, I wasn't going to pay to hear myself get insulted. But, so now let's get back to some of the other things.
You didn't get a free subscription for being on?
So let's...
Have you been listening?
So let's talk about Anthony Cumia. Now, Anthony Cumia... As you know, he and I have had a tumultuous.
Why would you choose that word?
I don't know. A tumultuous relationship, and it all started with the inclusion of Artie fucking heroin-induced Lang onto Anthony's show, where I knew Artie's cancer would just transcend over to Anthony, and it did. And Anthony went on the fucking after he came to my comedy show at Governor's Brokerage in Belmore. He laughed his ass off. My brother heard him the whole time because my brother's used to be a big fan of Opie Anthony. Heard him laughing the whole time. After the show, he came up and said, "John, good job." I mean, it was like, and then my hypothesis is that he had to appease to Artie's hatred towards me and my stand-up, and then goes on the air and tells a completely different story. How the parking lot was empty. Yeah, Anthony, was empty because you showed up an hour and a half fucking before the show. But, it wasn't a packed show, but it was about half full, but whatever. He fucking, to say that I wasn't good, it just I know that I'm not an egomaniac by any stretch. Nor will I ever say I'm the best comic in the world. But I did a damn good job. I mean, I had everyone laughing within every 10 seconds. Big laughs. That's how I do my show. It's boom, 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 boom. So then, like, for him to do that, so I just texted Keith and said, it's too bad Anthony couldn't, gave a more honest assessment of his review of my show. And then Anthony decided to read that, and Artie and Anthony did a whole show trashing me. And then I trashed Anthony on Twitter and back. And then Anthony decided to post pictures of my kids and goof on them, which is off limits to me. Any mobster knows you don't fucking hit the kids. I mean, that's just. And Anthony's Italian. He should know that. Not saying all Italians are in the mob, but whatever. He's a fucking. He's a mob movie buff, and he knows that you don't fucking do that. And he did that, and my kids got tons of hate on social media, and it was unfortunate. I don't want to see my kids go through pain. It fucking kills me. So Anthony and I. So then we broke off our friendship, and that was it. And I haven't spoken to him since. So when I started getting, I've gotten mostly positive reviews on my book on Amazon.com from verified purchasers, people who have actually bought the book, and I've read it. They obviously know the stories I'm talking about. But then you get, either the Anthony haters or maybe some of the Stern haters give it 1 star and say, I'd rather read a coloring book, which means they never bought the book. And this is the flaw with Amazon.
Right.
How could they allow someone to write a review if they never bought the book? It's just bullshit. So it brought my 5-star rating down to a 4, having these idiots.
Yeah, it's still a great rating, though, by the way.
No, it is. But then I wrote to a few of my friends on Twitter. I said, hey, could you write a positive review to thwart the haters?
Sure.
And it wasn't a lot of people. It was a few. It was like, God, I don't know. It was like Ben Ratner, who was a Columbia guy.
Less than 12.
Yeah. And one of them happened to be this guy, Chris Baldessano. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know Chris Baldessano had an Anthony Cumia connection. And because in the text of him on the Twitter, it was just, he was saying, hey, I love you, I've always been a big fan. So I thought it was a guy that would want to see me get an honest assessment of my book, as opposed to these idiots, who'll say, I'd rather read Anthony Cumia's book, 1 star. I mean, they obviously haven't read it. I'm not at war with Anthony anymore. It's all been over for a long time. I talked to Keith Maresca. I mean, we text. I love Keith Maresca. He's a nice, stable guy. I know I did attack him during the time we were having this Twitter war, and I apologized to him, and I have. I mean, he's a good man, former cop, and I have plenty of friends who are cops and firefighters, and I love Keith. But so then at some point, Chris Baldessano, who I thought was like a friend on Twitter, decided to, tell Dennis Farrell. Dennis Farrell is this fat fuck, I think from Babylon in Long Island, who I had played cards with Anthony Cumia, and I think Chris Baldessano. And, we always got along. There was no problem. But when Anthony and I got into our Twitter war, Dennis Farrell started posting pictures of my kids goofing on them. And one's a minor. I mean, I could throw these fucking guys in jail because you can't do that to a minor. I mean, I talked to my attorney. I mean, he sent Anthony a cease and desist.
Right.
I could do the same to this fat fuck Dennis Farrell. But Dennis then, he says, like he tweets out, since John asked my friend to write a review even without reading the book, I'm going to write one without even reading it, and he trashes me, gives me 1 star.
But that's not what you asked. But go ahead.
No, I did not ask. I did not say don't read the book.
Right.
I put the link there to buy the book. I said, if you can, buy the book or whatever. Or I just put the link. I mean, I'm not saying just write a good review without reading it.
Right.
But just, buy the book. It's $15, and then fucking, and give me a fair assessment. But, to thwart these assholes who just want to hate on me. So this Dennis Farrell guy decides to fucking get into it with me. So at some point, to Chris Baldessano, Anthony's buddy, I just said, first I was like, look, it's cool. Look, I go, why would you betray me? I go, why give it to Dennis Farrell if the guy hates me? He's like, oh, I just was, he gives me some lame ass excuse, which is like, hey, I just wanted to see if he got the same thing, which I would never send to Dennis Farrell. And, plus he blocked me and I blocked him. But then, then I get, I saw it kidding around, because I've hung out with John Gotti Jr. way too many times. And I said, it's out of my hands, whatever happens to Dennis. Just know, Chris, the blood's on your hands. I did something like that. And then I thought about it. I go, I can't threaten anybody. And I said, I'm only messing around. And then he's like, yeah, John, you shouldn't threaten anybody. I go, I'm not in the mob. I'm not fucking going to do anything to anybody. But I was pissed off that Chris had gotten it over to Dennis. And I don't know why Dennis has so much hate for me. I made that guy laugh his ass off in Anthony's basement. But he does. And, I guess to defend Anthony. And I don't even have a problem with Anthony. In fact, Anthony's book has surpassed mine right now in general broadcasting. Good luck, Anthony. I don't give a shit. Don't make fun of my kids. We'll be fine.
We could talk about why it's surpassing yours.
Why?
Well, because he's riding your fucking coattails.
He's doing all your media right behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, finish your story. I don't want to derail you.
No. That's a good point. To just so anyone listening, anytime I do an interview for my book, Anthony's publicist calls that person, contacts him, and asks them to do a piece on his book.
It's like having a retarded shadow.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to follow everywhere I'm going. Which, God bless him. Because I don't care if he does that either.
It's not working because they're all telling us.
Yeah, I know. They're all saying, Anthony, as soon as he saw, he's reaching out to him. I don't know why. He's got to have his own publicity department. He obviously, I would assume, has more listeners than me. I don't know.
Well, it just makes sense. I don't understand why he's trying to ride your coattails. You would think that he would have his own thing going.
Yeah, I don't know. And you know what? I said to Keith, said, hey, I said, could you calm this Dennis Farrell guy down? What the fuck did I ever do to this guy? And Keith said, well, we'll try and have you on the show. And I said, I'll gladly do the show because I would. Yeah. Just like I buried the hatchet with Grillo. I don't really want to have any fucking feuds. That ain't my thing. If I saw Howard on the street, I'd give him a big hug and tell him again the umpteenth time, thanks for giving me, my start, which I'll forever be grateful to Howard.
And he'd be like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't mean that I'm not pissed at a lot of things that Howard and Don, the fucking douchebag Buckwald, did to us. They were pretty bad to us. There's a reason why Fred wanted to leave the show to go to SNL. There's a reason why Baba Booey's wife told me on speakerphone, John, we're so jealous of you, when I was leaving to go to the Tonight Show. Look, there's a long line of people who wanted to get the fuck out of there. Jackie obviously did. Billy obviously did. And, and both Billy and I left for greener pastures. For more money, my dream to be in television and be a television staff writer, so it was all good for me, and thankfully I get 2 pensions because of that, and I have no hard feelings about the show, but in my book I do expose certain horrible things that Howard did, and that's and that's just the case, and that's all I could say. And again, I don't have a problem with Anthony. You want to buy Anthony's book, buy it. I'm sure it's entertaining. You want to buy my book, buy it. I know it's entertaining. And, and that's it. So, what else? Royce, you were telling me that someone's house.
Daniel Tosh's house burnt down. I don't. Wait a second. It wasn't the only house that burnt down.
No, I'm doing that. I always love whenever Howard did like a really bad fucking news story, and then Fred would play the Jackie laugh.
Jackie would get the shrapnel,
and then people would get pissed at Jackie because Fred would play that. But
that fucking guy.
No, look, I'm not happy for anyone's house to burn down, and God bless you, Daniel. But I'm not very happy with Daniel and his head writer Nick Malice because they.
Well, yeah.
They lifted our show verbatim.
Well, I was going to say, word is Daniel stole that house anyway. So
yeah, they lifted our show idea. Poking the bear exactly.
And you never got? Did you ever talk to this guy?
No, I texted him. He said I'm busy. Now I thought you were going to call me yesterday, and then he let it go. And you know what? I'm going to let it go.
Whatever. They're all full of shit.
Oh yeah, and Nick Malice.
There's more.
That's his head writer. He was an intern at Stern. He's a Harvard Lampoon guy.
Good for him.
Which means, they have a certain, air of arrogance, and I'm sure...
Smells like shit.
But he's not a bad guy. I've hung out with him, and, it is what it is. And but they did lift, the idea. It's just so coincidental that it would happen out of nowhere. Right after we announce it, right after we have the website up, Poking the Bear, where we help anybody having a problem with their local politician or their electric company, their gas company, Stuttering John shows up to the rescue, and then we solve it publicly. And that's exactly what Daniel Tosh put out on his tweet. Right. So, I know some people could have the same ideas. This one seems a little fishy to me.
Well, beyond that, it's just the disingenuous nature of the way people handle things, because it's like, oh yeah, we'll talk. Oh, I'm too busy. Everybody wants something, and then as soon as they get what they need, nobody's available. Yeah, but that's just the way it works in this fucking town.
Yeah, well, that's fucking Hollywood, man. This is the phoniest place on earth. I mean, this really is phoniest. I mean, that's one of the culture shocks I had when I got here. Coming from New York, where everyone, like, we just had Grillo on and me, and Roy said, we're all from New York. Well, you're from Pennsylvania, I'm sorry. But, but we talk, we speak straight from the hip. You're from New York, right? Yeah, we just say what we fucking mean, and that's it. There's no bullshitting. But, out here, everybody will fucking bullshit. Yeah. Everybody bullshits.
Well, the worst is when someone out here asks you to tell them the truth, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll tell you the truth. Oh, you didn't want the truth, huh?
Yeah. But that's the Daniel Tosh thing, and we've covered the Anthony Cumia thing. We spoke to Grillo. What else did we want to talk about, Royce? I thought there was something else that I was...
Well, other than, not to bring it down, but it's been a crazy week out here between the Thousand Oaks shooting and, which is obviously our community, and then, of course, all these fires. But
oh, yeah, and this is where, like, I know half my fans tune out because they all love this fucking idiot known as Donald Trump. But... Look, we just had a mass shooting on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we have fucking the biggest fires in California state history.
Overnight, mind you.
More houses lost than any other fire. 370, I think the last count was. And this fucking ignoramus, instead of going, I want to, give my condolences to all the victims and families of the fire, and they'll be in my prayers, and I pray that more people don't lose their houses. Instead of doing a presidential tweet, what does he do? This is why the California Forest, Department stink. It's all their fault, and this is why I'm going to stop any funding until they get their shit together. This is the thing on top of his mind?
Right. And there's so much wrong and stupid about what he said.
Yeah, Royce, what the fuck?
Dude, I was so pissed I called the White House.
Did you?
I called the White House twice and complained.
How'd you get through?
I happen to have the number. No. Actually, I had to look it up.
Is it still on Google?
Yeah, it's out there.
It was
you have to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like I said, Frank from Heidi and Frank lost our house. I have a couple of friends who've been evacuated. Quite a few of them have been evacuated. I don't know if they've lost their houses or not. But you've seen the devastation and destruction. Yeah. Finally, it took Donald Trump today. He tweets, I give my condolences to all the families. And today.
He didn't write that tweet.
No, he didn't, because he uses the word alleviate.
And there's commas in it.
And I think somebody told him California gives more money to the federal government than they give us.
Yeah.
So keep your aid, Donald. We'll keep ours. How about that?
Yeah. And by the way, the forests, aren't they mostly federal?
Yeah. They're national forests.
But let's just pretend like he actually had some validity to his point. That is not the fucking time.
No.
People are literally fleeing for their lives. And John, from where we live, you can see the flames.
No, I know. Right. Well, you can smell it when you go outside.
There's ash in the air.
Fucking, so it just, and now we're going to get into a little, this is the same guy who, at the World War I Memorial in France,
you bitch,
does not go because it was raining.
Right.
All right, so and now let's analyze that one, because then you give him all the shit for the rain. And now, is he afraid he's going to melt?
Commander-in-chief of the largest military on the planet.
Yeah, there are two things he's most afraid of, the truth and rain.
Right.
Because he doesn't fucking go, and now he tweets out today. Oh, he throws the Secret Service under the bus. Says they said that the helicopter couldn't fly under these extreme conditions. It was drizzling.
Right.
And
helicopter's not waterproof.
Yeah, and it's a 2.5 hour drive, and they said I shouldn't go. Okay, let's analyze that. First of all, my friend's a Coast Guard lieutenant helicopter pilot. They fly in fucking hurricanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Donald Trump's helicopter could withstand a few drizzles, and if it's a 2 hour ride, I heard it's really just an hour drive. But let's say it's still a 20-minute helicopter ride, half-hour helicopter ride.
But rain is not new.
No,
like that's the worst part about this is we're sitting here justifying the concept of rain.
No, I know. Well, and the reason I bring that up, Royce, is he didn't show up on Veterans Day to the Arlington Cemetery, where every president has gone in years.
It's part of the job, man.
You know how many veterans never went to war because it was raining?
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It's unfucking believable.
It really is, and it's good points, Royce. And he doesn't go again because it's raining. Now, we know that he's fucking has a comb over, so maybe he's afraid it's going to fuck up his hair. But what, you can't...
They have umbrellas. The Secret Service carrying
them.
As you see from the video, he doesn't know how to work an umbrella.
He doesn't have to. He's got a person for that.
No, you ever see when he tries to fucking close the umbrella when he gets up to Air Force One and he just leaves it out there?
He's probably wearing Velcro New Balances too.
But could you imagine this guy, Royce? 2 veteran memorials he doesn't attend because of rain.
Yeah. Well, this is our leadership or lack thereof in the White House.
I mean, would Obama do that? No. Would George W. Bush do that? No. Would George H. Bush do that? No. Would Bill Clinton do that? No. It doesn't. Would Ronald Reagan do that? No.
The rest of the world leaders who were there did not get thwarted by the rain.
No.
They all walked together in the rain.
No. And then what does he do? He trashes the French president.
Yeah.
Because he says, because the French president came out against nationalism,
right?
Which is what Trump fucking spews every day of the week, and now Trump decides to fucking alienate himself from yet another ally. I mean, he's already put down Angela Merkel.
Oh, yeah, is it Angela Merkel? I don't know.
But it's not Angela.
Yeah, they say
it's Angela.
I live in America, so it's Angela.
Anita Merkel. I don't know. But yeah, he trashes her. He trashes now the French president. I'm pretty sure he trashed Trudeau, the fucking Canadian,
several times.
I mean, he trashes fucking every foreign leader. He's a how is anyone?
All of our economies are like tied together. We Europe can't just disappear from our lives.
No,
we need everybody there.
No, of course, and yet he fucking. Now, Royce? Like I'm Danish. I got a lot of friends in Denmark, and my friends are at the pub are all English. A lot of them, and they got a lot of friends in England and Ireland. They all can't stand this motherfucker. The people there are astonished. They thought we couldn't do worse than G.W. Bush, but we've done 100 times worse.
Oh, in hindsight, Bush was not a bad president. I mean,
by comparison, no.
Well, but and really, Trump is going to wind up bringing us all together, just for all the wrong reasons. Because at a certain point, and I think we were talking about this the other day, but I don't really give a shit who's president after Trump, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. But in 2020, I just want that guy out.
Yeah, anybody.
Right.
Anybody else. Like, if it's a John Kasich, I'd be fucking happy with that.
I'll take Kasich.
I mean, I don't know who else I like on the Republican. Jeff Flake, maybe.
Whatever. I even kind of like Rubio back in the day, but I don't like him so much anymore.
No, he's a tool now.
But the idea of a young immigrant, son of an immigrant, all that kind of stuff appeals to me.
By the way, did you guys see the Jeff Flake thing that he did in January of 2017, where he denounces Trump for putting down the press? It's really incredible. He says, this is, Thomas Jefferson, this is the one thing that you can't do is call the press the enemy of the people. He compares Trump to Stalin.
Sure.
And that's, so let me ask the both of you guys. This is my third trivia question. Why, then, are all these fucking lunatics supporting him? I get people who drop me on Twitter if I make a Trump comment. What the fuck? What's going on here?
They think he's going to give them jobs. They believe he's going to bring their jobs back. The factories are going to light back up again. The coal mines are going to be working again, and they're going to have money in their pocket.
Royce, what's your thought?
Well, I also think that I'm going to get analytical for a second, but I think there's a systemic problem in our politics, right? So I think the people that support Trump have a justifiable anger towards the system because the system suppresses people. It keeps them from working. It keeps them from staying healthy.
Right.
The system is built to keep everybody sick and broke.
Obamacare wasn't.
I'm just answering your question.
Yeah.
So I think the appeal to a lot of people with Trump was that he would break all the norms and be a breath of fresh air. But what I've learned is that having a professional politician in office isn't such a bad idea. Where we need to really fix shit is the way we actually elect people. And by that, I mean the way we actually fucking vote in this country.
Well, that's
Right.
another whole problem.
Because, I mean, I understand why certain people voted for Trump when they voted for Trump. But at this point, to stand by this man is to abandon the country.
Well, okay, I'm going to give you my opinion. I think ever since Obama won, there was so much hatred, and I'm sorry, but I thoroughly believe this. There's a lot of racist people in this country.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I would say more than 50%. And I mean, the Tea Party was formed when Obama was there, and if you saw that Tea Party march onto Washington and the fucking posters they were holding, calling him a monkey and all this shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just this hatred. There's anger and hatred towards the black man, and I think Trump ignites that hatred, and he ignites the hatred. Hold on, not only for black people, but for the Mexicans, for women, for transgender, for gay people. Look what he did with the transgender thing. He banned them from the military.
I think you're 100% right, but I don't think that's the majority. And that goes back to what we talked about in the last podcast, which was he won by a slim margin. So
if he won it all.
If he won it all, but at least in the Republican primary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head, but the problem is, going back to what Don said, for most of these people, it's about jobs. So if they're racist or not, and race and somebody else's plight is not their wedge issue, and their wedge issue is the economy and jobs, then people are willing to turn a blind eye
and also,
to the plight of.
But
of
let me ask you a question, and this is, I'm sure this is going to sound dumb, but
it's fine. We've already lost all the listeners. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the unemployment rate is what, like 6.7%, something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Now, I'm not, believe me, this is going to make me sound stupid, but I'm okay with it. So that means that if, let's say it's 7%,
Right.
So that means 93% of people are working.
of eligible working people.
Okay,
that's
so
supposedly
then,
what
Royce,
it means.
under that premise, then you're saying all these people care about jobs. 7% does not constitute the 50% that are fucking all into the hatred.
Well, but here's the problem. Just because somebody's employed doesn't mean they're making ends meet. I saw a stat the other day that for the average American worker to have a one-bedroom apartment, and I'm getting the stats all wrong, so look it up, but it was like they have to work 2.5 jobs.
Right.
So it's not about being employed. It's about wages, right? And it's about good-paying jobs that provide people a good working wage to feed their family.
But then again, then you're the same. The unemployment rate is it's been around the same. It could be 7, it could be 5, it could be. But at the same time, under Obama, the same shit then had to be true.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't blame the presidents for any of this stuff. I mean, you really have to blame Congress.
Correct.
Okay, because they're the ones that are failing to legislate and to enact the laws that would actually allow us to fucking get through this. But you can't blame Obama or Trump.
But the president gets all the attention, and
course.
that's why
It's like a network
the
executive.
problem continues because nobody's paying attention to the House and the Senate that closely.
But those guys are the ones running the whole distraction.
But you say you can't blame Trump, yet when the unemployment rate goes down, Trump takes complete credit for it.
Well, no, I'm just saying if you're
you can't have it both ways.
No, if you're trying to be sincerely objective, you can't really blame the president for any of that stuff because it's Congress that's there on the constant.
I think it's all of them. I think it's all of them. I mean,
yes. I mean, Washington's absolutely.
I mean, look, Trump is responsible for these tariffs, and that's costing us. That's costing us more money. My beer price has gone up because of the steel. Because of the metal. The fuck, Royce?
People are losing their homes and evacuating their horses, and you're.
How can I be a functional alcoholic with the beer prices
in this
up?
economy?
But anyway, that was our political roundtable talk.
It'll never happen again.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. I know there's a lot of Trump supporters. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, like Scott DePace, who I love. I love Scott DePace from the E! Show. Mm-hmm. He happened to like somebody was arguing with me and said even Scott DePace loves Trump, and I said no, Scott DePace, and he said to me on the phone, and he doesn't support the rhetoric of Donald Trump, even though he supports his policies. But I mean, and then Scott, about the doctor, the Jim Acosta, the video that Sarah fucking that girl I can't stand,
Huckabee.
Yeah. She released a doctored video.
Yes.
A video expert went through and said how they slowed it down so they could speed it up, when the jerk happens of so it looks more violent. In TV and films, you always speed stuff up.
Right.
To make it look more, violent or whatever. So they definitely doctored it. So Scott writes back, it's not a doctored video. And although I don't agree with what Trump says, I don't believe in the way he says it. I do believe in his policies. So I wrote back, Scott, it's a definitely doctored video, because the White House even admitted it was doctored, and they admitted that they sped up. Kellyanne Conway admitted that they sped up, and I sent Scott the link of the expert going through it.
When it streamed live, there was nothing violent about it. It was just an intern getting a microphone away from the guy.
But Scott's an expert in his own right. He did create the golf caddy.
Yes. Royce is way too big of a fucking third fan.
I'm just saying, maybe you want to take into consideration.
No, Scott's a good guy, but I mean, he just is a staunch conservative, and he's going to always go, toe the line, whatever. But it definitely was doctored, and it was sped up to make it look more violent. But CNN just is suing.
I know.
Donald Trump.
I saw that today.
But look, and we can talk for hours but the war against the free press is really, that's a Stalin Hitler thing to do, and Donald Trump is doing that. And now all those Trump supporters, Royce, anything against Trump, fake news.
Right.
Anything is fake news now.
Well, I'm just reminded of something that Grillo said on the interview about the Stern Show mandate of the shows moving forward. And anything in the past is in the past.
Yeah.
But that's like the concept of erasing history. And that very mentality is why people are like, you look at what Trump is doing now, and it's like, if you have any understanding of history, you'll see where the repetition is. But so many people are turning a blind eye to that.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking concept.
Yeah.
Like, if we choose to erase our history, then these things will continue to happen.
First, you silence the media, then you start eliminating lawyers and intellectuals, and then you're living in Hitler's world.
But it's just ironic that, to bring it back to Stern, that the king of all media, free speech, is the guy now, is now the king of censorship.
Yeah. I know.
And it's this, I'm telling you, it's the same fucking mentality. If we forget, then it will all happen